Thank you for tuning in to the Houston Crokinole Championship Finals match. This is a Tier 3 National Crokinole Association event hosted by the Extra Pint Crokinole Club in Houston. In this matchup, we have two competitors fighting for the championship title. On your left, what some are calling the Texas Devon Fortino, Thomas Mathew, who has just won the volley and will opt to take first shot of the game. Up against him, on your right, Jamie Harter. We've seen him so many times in the finals brackets at tournaments. Brooklyn, Maryland, Connecticut, LZ3, and now the Houston Championship. Harter with hammer in this first round, doing a good job keeping the pressure on in this 20s race. We saw in both semifinal matches that both these competitors are highly proficient in their open 20s games, so we will see who makes the first mistake. There it is, Mathew going long. Harter now can bring play to the outside. Beautiful catch of the post there. Mathew will be forced to peel, giving Harter an open 20 opportunity here. And that's a tough thing, especially when you have players who are so strong in their open 20s like that. When you're forced in a situation where you need to bring play back to the middle, but it gives an open shot, it can pretty much steal a round. Nonetheless, Mathew may have a slim angle in here. We'll see what he's able to do. Very nice. Doesn't get the off with it, though. I believe Harter is all but set up to win this round. Oh, Harter goes long, but Mathew needs a lot here to put any pressure on Harter. If he gets a follow-through 20, all Harter would need to do to tie the round is to get an open shot into the 15, firmly into the 15, and then score a 20 to win. So Mathew's odds aren't great here. Yeah, he goes for it. He does get the disc off, but all Harter needs to do is to touch. He even could just touch that. He didn't even have to demote it, but Harter will take the first 2 points of this race to 9. This tournament is hosted by the Extra Pint Crokinole Club in Houston. If you want to learn more about this club, go to the link in the description below. We are starting again in this 20s race. Mathew will have hammer in this second round. Harter coming up short. We'll see what Mathew does with this. Opts to just stick in that area, leaving Harter with not many options, but to try a follow through if he wanted. Harter going to the outside. That could be costly. Now, he can still get in here, but Mathew was pretty clear to keep that to the outside. Oh, Harter lost his shooter. Mathew could make that mistake. Hurt lips out. Harter will be looking for a 20 here, the off and the 20. This is his chance to get back in the cup. Doesn't quite get it. We'll see if Mathew pulls his shooter back here. Yeah, very nice. I think it'll be tough for Harter to bounce back in off that. Taking a second to look at the situation, able to catch a post and pull it back slightly. Now we're going to see, this little battle of Mathew trying to pull play back further, and I think he's done just that. Harter peels his own shooter. He would have been well served to try to take off that other one there too. Mathew rolls too far. We're down to one shot each. If Harter wants to put on any pressure, he needs an off and a 20 here. That is the one way he can guarantee a tie and maybe a win from this round. You hear him say, no guts, no glory. Looks like he's lining it up now. Oh, beauty shot. That's a highlight right there. Under the pressure to score an angle in from the 10. Harter able to salvage 1 point out of that round. That was good. Mathew able to score that open 20 afterwards. Also impressive. A tie round now. Mathew with his first points in the game. Score now 3-1 in favor of Harter. And Mathew going a little bit long on his first shot, but Harter losing his shooter. And Mathew taking full advantage. Now up 1 in the cup. Oh, make that 2. A costly blunder from Harter. Mathew now with a 220 advantage. Harter has a lot of work to do with 6 shots. Still lots of gameplay left to go this round, but that is a tough disadvantage to get over. Also the mental game. To drop a 20 for your opponent, you've got to be able to shake off the nerves or shake off that mistake and get back into it. And we see Harter trying to catch some posts there. Play still on his side of the board, and we get a mistake out of Mathew. This is Harter's opportunity to get caught up in the cup. Able to drain it. Yep, he's shaken that mistake from earlier. We'll see if Mathew can deal with this disc now. Able to. Sticks in that area. The door is open, and Harter will be looking to bring play back in, unless he thinks he can get another mistake out of Mathew. Oh, Harter sliced that too thin. Left an open board for Mathew, draining the open 20. This round is all but sealed. Even if... Oh, man! Harter gets that 20, but he doesn't get the off, and that, would have been inconsequential anyways. Harter would have had to shoot for that outside. Mathew takes 2 points, his first win in the game, tying the score up 3-3 now. This video coverage is provided by Tracey Boards, the official board builders for the World Crokinole Championships. If you want your own Crokinole board, you can buy yours today at traceyboards.com. Both players 1-1 in the cup, and Harter coming up short. That's stuck there for some reason, and Mathew taking full advantage of that mistake. And we are right back to this 20s race. Harter has corrected, but Mathew keeping on the pressure, and all Harter can do is keep up in the 20s and hope for a mistake. But the way this match in the semifinal went in terms of Mathew, he doesn't often miss open 20s, so that could be tough. And Harter, the mistake comes from him. He goes a little bit long. We'll see what Mathew does here. Beautiful roll away. That's blocked by the post. There's no way for Harter to get in. He opts to peel. Doesn't think he can pull it back. Mathew coming up short. That's a mistake that Harter needs. A backboard to capitalize on. Gets it with the off to go. Still at a slight disadvantage. And Mathew keeps the pressure on. The best Harter can do is score 20 and hope for an invalid shot out of Mathew here. Gets a 20, but all Mathew needs to get into the range. He gets a 20 to go with it. Didn't need it, but takes it nonetheless. Now up on the scoreboard for the first time in this match. Mathew is at 5-3 points. Over halfway to the 9-point goalpost. Mathew opening this round with yet another 20. Harter will have hammer. Now, this is Jamie's third tournament in a row that he's made it to the finals round. The first was the Connecticut Crokinole Cup, where he took the victory. The second was the LC3 tourney, which happened the previous weekend, where he took second. And here he is again in the finals, looking for a second first placement. Oh, going long, though. Losing the 20s race, and Mathew very content to pull play back. Now, Mathew kind of juxtaposed to Harter here. This is his first NCAA tournament ever, and he is absolutely killing it. Harter making a joke that he wishes that he would see Mathew miss an open 20, something along those lines. I didn't quite catch it, but there was some comment about how, Mathew has not been missing those shots. You cannot depend on him to miss when there's an open board. And Harter doing a good job keeping up, but again, he needs that mistake, and Mathew's simply not giving it. Down to the final shot. I believe this is inconsequential. Yeah, Mathew will take another 2 points, bringing the score 7-3. Mathew is now 1 round win away from taking the title at the Houston Crokinole Championships. He's not quite at the point where he can tie the round and win the game. But 2 points away. Lots of pressure on Harter now, not to lose. Oh, Mathew going long. We'll see if Harter is able to pull play back a little bit. Now, Harter still needs to be careful. He is playing against a hammer, so the 120 advantage is good, but he can't afford to make any mistakes here. Pushing in a little bit, we have a battle. Mathew trying to pull play closer to the center, and Harter trying to get it out and away from any opportunities for Mathew. Bit of a mistake there, and that could be costly over halfway through the shots. Mathew rolling down. If Harter can figure out a way to, his best case scenario is to get a double, both those discs, out of the 10 and keep his on the board. On the outside, preferably somewhere Mathew can't get at it. Rolls down to the 5. that's not the worst. Now, if Harter can figure out a way to get that 1 in the 15 off and roll his disc down to 10 or 5, he'll be in a good position to win this round. Which, yeah, that's why he's going to shoot for that further disc. I think he was trying to roll. Not sure if he was hunting for the 20. Now, the 20 would have been great, but the issue is if Mathew can score his own 20 here, he goes for it. Just over. That would have sealed the round right there. But what Jamie should be trying to do now is to get that off. And, oh, yeah, he wanted to catch a post, but he pushed through. And he's opened the door for Mathew to win it all this shot. Not at all a gimme, but if Mathew can get that white disc off and then score a 20, he will win the round and in turn the Houston Crokinole Championship. Can he do it? Oh, that does not do it. Harter stays alive, taking 2 points, bringing the score 7-5 now. Still in a dangerous position. Mathew 2 points away from winning this tournament. And Harter going long on his first 20. Now Harter does have hammer, but Mathew will be very comfortable to keep play back. And you see him doing a great job hitting and sticking in that area. There's no gimme 20 here. And it'll be up to Harter to pull play back. He does so, but he might have opened the door for Mathew to get a 20 of his own. Not sure if he's going to go for it or keep playing defensive, because another 20 here would be huge. Yeah, he wanted it, but not quite able. Passes the opportunity to Harter. Oh, goes over again. Now this, Mathew can definitely angle in off this one. Opposite hit and stick, maybe wise. Maybe I'm getting greedy as a commentator. But, no, doing a good job keeping play back. Harter goes for it, but just a little bit too far away. Now this, I'm thinking up the left line, he might be able to get a touch 20. And at halfway through the round, that would be great. Mathew playing it wise, though. I'm loving the fact that he's going defense, even with the 20s opportunities there. Harter desperately trying to pull it back towards the center, but it's not working out. Oh! Mathew pushed a little bit too far. This is Harter's opportunity to get back in the round. Oh, he doesn't get the 20 or the off. That could be the nail in the coffin. Mathew now very comfortable, fighting for those 20s. He knows he's in a great position. Oh, Harter balances out the cup. Now Mathew, if he can score a 20 here, the shots are inconsequential. There's no way Jamie can get a 20 off that back disc. Oh, man, Mathew coming up short, but that, oh my. Jamie just needs to make contact with this. This is whether he stays in the game or not. If Harter can touch that and get it off, knock both off, if he even ties the round, he's still in. All comes down to this. Oh, that is it with confetti. Thomas Mathew is the Houston Crokinole champion at his first ever NCAA tournament. He has done it. What a great match. We're going to see some highlights. This angle in. We see this final blast of confetti. I want to see how close that last shot was. We're going to throw that highlight in. I realize I missed it. Thank you for tuning in to the Houston Crokinole Championships, a Tier 3 National Crokinole Association event. Make sure to check out the hosts at the link in the description below. Stay tuned as we have the Ontario Doubles Finals match coming out very shortly. If you want to see more competitive crokinole, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. My name is Garret Tracey. Make it a great day.